What the f*** was that?
James, it's Valtteri.
There's something loose between my legs.
You mean like forever?
I don't know.
Tripping major nutsack.
Come on! No more radio for the rest of the race.
Hello everyone and welcome along to the reserve the reserve drivers. Sorry, got a couple of Dutch fans in here today. Sorry. Don't put your hand there.
Oh.
Okay, that's exceeding track limits. Clear some of this out. Hello everyone and welcome along to the reserve drivers. We're here to wrap up Austria, preview the French Grand Prix. I'm Tim McDonald from the fog. It's Luke Rocker.
I've still had a bit of a COVID fog, actually, Timmy. Yeah, Tim, good to see you. Great to see you, viewers old and new. Now, if you are a new viewer, welcome. Look, we're not neuroscientists here. We're not. We don't do anything special.
It's just Formula One. It's not politics or any big stuff.
Certainly nothing big about this, though.
No big stuff on this week's show.
I tell you what, talking about politics, you were sharing some interesting views a little bit before this episode. Let's get into them.
Thanks for watching us. Thanks for liking, commenting, subscribing, hitting that bell icon. Make sure your notifications are on so you don't miss an episode of The Reserve Drivers.
That was a lot of information and I didn't understand what you just said.
Okay, no, fair enough. Look, just thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. We really appreciate it.
Shut up!
Okay, let's just get on with the show.
That's pretty much how our entire business meetings go, Timmy. Too much information. Shut up. Tim, it was a big weekend and a big weekend of questions. You know, a lot of things people aren't sure of.
Not quite sure what was the biggest queue for the toilets or for the beer tent.
The big questions, Tim. To be fair, if you're not quite sure which line was going to be bigger, a diet consists of strudel and schnitzel, Tim. It's the toilet line. Of course, when it comes to question asking, Tim,
Yes.
it's all about maximising potential.
Okay.
Okay, trying to get the most out of the interview.
Yes.
We just do one question? Absolutely fine. So close, Charles, to taking that pole today. What can you do in the sprint tomorrow? Are there options, or do you have to be patient tomorrow, take the maximum points you can, and concentrate more on Sunday's race?
Oh, patience will be...
Needed. Will be very much needed to get through just one question.
Just one question.
Because when you've got an F1 driver, you've got to make the most of
That's
it.
right.
Because they're not easy to get.
Natalie, we will just see if we can talk to one more driver, Kevin Magnussen, with Ao Komatsu, his chief engineer, on the right-hand side here. Tomorrow, today, tomorrow he'll be having a little yawn from Kev. You right? Wakey, Kev? Let's wait another second, see if we can ask Kevin Magnussen a quick question. Kev? He's just finishing up with his engineer. We'll see if we can find the head of Porsche. Wolfgang Porsche was on the... You're right. That was I was filling for Britain then. You wouldn't believe it.
Well done to Ted. He was only allowed one awkward pause, but he managed to get in 5. Well done, Ted Kravitz. What a weekend it was in Austria, Lukey boy. So much incredible on-track action. Where do we start? With the anthems. I love the anthems, and I love the Austrian anthem, Lukey boy.
Yeah, you are an anthem fiend.
I'm an anthem addict. In Austria, the anthem was performed by a pianist, and...
Can you say that?
I don't think you can.
Okay.
It was performed by a pianist featuring the backing of the boys and girls of the lackluster flag-waving ensemble. There they are there, loving every minute. There's one guy who's... Oh, there he goes. There he goes. Rudolph Bookbinder on the piano.
You're right. That is lackluster flag waving during an anthem. And those kids need to get some advice from the Canadian Marshals.
Oh, Canada, terre de nos aïeux.
Okay, there's low energy and then there's too much energy. I think there's a sweet spot in the anthems. But when it comes to people in the background of anthems, Leggy boy, have a look at this kid in the background of the British anthem.
God save our gracious queen.
Oh yeah, take the hat off. Take the hat off. There we go. That was a major British anthem, Leggy boy, performed by a guy from a Pantene shampoo commercial.
I thought you'd be all over this.
I am all over this because it was the first time I've seen an anthem combined with a breakdown. Wait for it. Wait for it. Well done to the Pantene commercial guy. I actually think that might have killed Queen Elizabeth just quietly. But when it comes to anthems, Lucky boy, the Austrian anthem, the British anthem, they pale in comparison to the best anthem of all time.
Can't be beaten.
The Azerbaijani anthem. What I love about this anthem, 2 things. 1, it was clearly written in 5 minutes. And 2, it was performed by the National Toothpaste Choir. Toothpaste Choir working well there. One of the all-time great anthems. Well done to Azerbaijan. Well done in Austria to Charles Leclerc, Lukey boy.
Yeah, Ferrari are back, Tim.
They are back. He had a tough race in Silverstone. He was speaking to Matteo Binotto here. It ended in a post-race prostate check. Never a good sign.
To be fair, the whole Formula 1 world were up in arms about all that. I mean,
up in fingers.
Well, yeah.
Well, it didn't look good from where we were sitting, Lukey boy, but Jenson Button had an interesting take on the finger pointing.
Frustrated, to say the least.
Yeah, my friends often cheer me up with a pointed finger.
We're going to stop that clip there. I don't think we want to hear the end of that anecdote.
No, but that kind of explains this piece of commentary.
But there's always a possibility to get something under your bum.
And that'll cheer us up. Let's take a look. What? But well done, Charles Leclerc. He bounced back from the finger pointing. Yeah. He won in Austria, despite this.
You cannot imagine what I'm doing with the pedals.
Gee, you cannot imagine what he's doing with the pedals. Judging by this audio, I don't think we want to imagine.
Yes, sir! Yes! Oh my God! Yes! Come on!
I think he just had a little finger up the bum, if you know what I mean. What is going on there? What was he doing with the pedals?
He was definitely working his clutch. He was definitely...
Too much information. Shut up. Well done, Charles Leclerc. Great race. Didn't get off to the best start at the pre-race interviews.
All right, then enjoy this race. Thank you, Lando.
Thank you very much.
Charles, sorry.
Well done. Good save. Good save. My favourite part of the pre-race interviews, though, was this incredibly insightful question to Fernando Alonso.
So this morning, I saw a kid with a shirt that has a barking dog on it saying to you, "You bite back."
What?
I don't know.
I never thought I'd say this. Can we hear more from Jenson Button? Because that was making a lot more sense than that question.
Can I just talk about Fernando for a little bit?
Yeah.
It's kind of been mixed fortunes for him over the past couple of races. In Canada, he had to start P19 after the sprint race. His car didn't fire up. Fair to say he wasn't too happy.
Yeah, you've got to start at the back, but you can have some fun today, can't you?
It depends what we call fun, but...
Okay. He's not too happy, Tim. But then, rewind to Canada.
Yes.
Started P2.
Yes.
His best start since 2012.
Yeah.
He was thrilled.
Is this the most excited you've been about a Grand Prix for a while?
Not really.
Well, define excited.
He's got to take some advice from his teammate.
Yeah, let's put some energy.
Yeah, let's put some energy. Well, Alpine, they've been in some good form. Some great results for Alonso and Ocon. Some upgrades to the car they're working, as Otmar Safnauer explained.
Looks like greater suction in the areas we expected. So
We're going to stop that story there. That's
Sorry, are you okay? What is going on?
We're on at a later time slot this week.
I'm actually concerned.
Right, that was too much information.
Yeah.
Shut up. But what a weekend it was in Austria, Lukey boy. Perfectly summed up by the voice of Formula One, Martin Brundle.
And Ferrari will be keeping, there's 3 abreast now, extraordinary, in the sister Red Bull, and Leclerc having a look.
Martin needs a 10-place penalty for a voice box change.
What a fighter, though. Pushing through adversity.
Although he was sounding better than you are now, Lukey boy. But Martin Brundle, Lukey boy, he's a fountain of knowledge, incredibly wise, so much experience, so many insights and analysis to add. When Martin Brundle gets on a roll, there's really no stopping him.
Would you say, on lap 16, with an awful long way to go, things are working out better today for Ferrari than they were yesterday?
Absolutely.
900 Grand Prix worth of experience there from Martin Brundle.
Incredible insights from Martin Brundle, absolutely.
I like the little drive-by by Crofty as well.
Yeah, 900 years of experience, and all he could come up with was absolutely. But Martin was supporting Crofty a lot better than our friend, Pitlane reporter Ted Kravitz was at the British Grand Prix.
2009, Ted Kravitz. 2013, he went without a win into round 10 of the season. And in 2009 and 2013, he produced a win in round 10 of the season. And what round are we in this weekend?
I don't know.
Ted, you've got to give Crofty something.
What round are we in? Out of interest.
Look, who can put a numerical value on these things? Have we got Wolfgang Porsche? Can we go to him?
Where's Rudolph Bookbinder? He'll know. There's no secret that a key aspect to the Austrian Grand Prix are the fans. They come out in force, as we can see. They love their F1, the Austrian fans. They love Max Verstappen, although I don't think they love F1 as much as this fan in Canada.
Let's go, Williams! It's Williams! This weekend, Montreal! It's Williams!
Great to see the full contingent of the Nicholas Latifi Supporters Club, Leaky Boy. There he is there.
Look, the passion is real. They love F1 in Canada, and they also know F1 in Canada.
I served Sebastian Vettel this morning.
What was that like?
Super chill. I didn't even know it was him.
With other fans, Leaky Boy, the Canadian fans, the British fans, they were out in full force.
And this is a time for a wise head. The drivers have really got it.
A wise head with 2 hats on the head and a clown bow tie.
I was going to say, there's a lot going on there. He's wearing many hats. Tim, I tell you someone who could have done with 2 hats. Take a look at this guy. He's a little bit red. Take a look at this guy down here.
They are
He's a little bit burnt. And then take a look at the back of this guy's head. How's the tan line there?
Well, speaking of being on fire, Leaky Boy, Carlos Sainz had a tough race in Austria. The engine fully exploded.
It was pretty scary as well because he couldn't actually get out of the car when the flames went up.
But thank goodness for the bravery of the F1 marshals. They were right on the scene there. Yeah. There they are there, dropping off a fire extinguisher.
Oh, no.
I don't want to use it. Can someone else get near it? Tough race for Carlos in Austria, Leaky Boy.
Tim, it would have been a 1-2 for Ferrari.
But he got his first win out in Silverstone, and the first time that a commentator has described a win using a limerick.
But you know what? There was a young man from Madrid who thought he could win. And he did.
Wow, incredible limerick work from Crofty. I just hope there's no F1 driver from Nantucket because I'm not sure we want to hear that limerick at the end of the race.
Do you know, fun fact, Billy Joel's Piano Man is written in the form of a limerick.
Is it really?
Sing us the song, you're the piano man. Sing us a song tonight. We're all in the mood for a melody. You got us feeling all right.
Nice.
It depends what we call fun, but...
Yeah, I wouldn't call that a fun fact. I would not call that a fun fact at all. What are you doing?
Sorry, I'm straying from the show brief.
It's just Formula One. It's not
limericks. It's not Piano Man.
Sorry, back to it.
Back to it. Not every driver had a great race in Austria, Leaky Boy. Tough race for George Russell. One part in particular.
Very tough race about first stint and mid stint. Last stint.
So all of the stints were tough for George Russell. But as George says,
we're in a pretty good window, so it's obviously always a balance.
It's always a balance. Yeah. It's all about balance, and no one balances better than George Russell.
You know, the British fans love racing. They are hardcore.
There he goes. It's always a balance. It's always a balance. But balance isn't the hardest part of being an F1 driver, Leaky Boy.
Now you're a full-time driver, you can't really afford on a Saturday night to go to the curry house for an Indian takeaway or whatever before race day because your digestion, especially with the bouncing and the porpoising.
There'll definitely be something loose between your legs, Tim. Jeez.
Well, can we have a look at a driver who did go to an Indian curry house? That is an explosion.
Whoa.
That is a powerful Indian explosion.
That is a Vindaloo, Tim. One thing we noticed that thankfully when a driver walks away from a crash, we find it funny when there's a real long walk, don't we?
We love the walk of shame.
But I think Yuki Tsunoda, he's got a lot to learn. Let's take a look at Yuki's walk. Okay, so he's doing the walk. That's great. We're happy to see him moving. But hang on a second.
Oh,
no. He's taking the shortcut.
That's not how you walk of shame.
That is not how you do it. Let's go to Mr. Experience himself. Checo Perez will show you how to do the big walk.
Oh, the indignity of Sergio Perez is qualifying afternoon. He's now got to walk through the undergrowth to try and get back to the pits.
I mean, it's a long way back. He's lucky he's got full Nomex on because some of the riggers and cameramen out there have been bitten by spiders.
He is in the wilderness, which is where you and I have been for the last couple of months, Leaky Boy. Well done to Sergio Perez. Big news in the world of F1, Leaky Boy. F1 releasing their new net zero 2030 targets. Yeah. I mean, we're trying to get to net zero viewers by 2030. I think we'll comfortably get there. We're on track. But no one's more in favour of net zero than Williams. Their team boss, Jost Capito. Here he is talking about reducing emissions while simultaneously raising his own.
Formula One have kind of rebranded their net zero 2030 carbon goals. Williams have been at the forefront of pushing that.
Oh, Josh.
How important is that to keep
what
pushing
are you
along
doing?
with this?
Don't keep pushing on that. Whatever it is that you're pushing at, don't keep pushing on that. He was almost Josh Capito by the end of that. You've just got to be very careful.
There it is. The reserve driver's fart joke.
Champagne comedy from the reserve drivers.
It's time for a trip down memory pit lane.
Oh, excellent.
Tim, in honour of the upcoming French Grand Prix,
Yes.
okay, you know I'm serious because I've got my notes. I want to take a look at the 1965 French Grand Prix, okay?
We don't have time to go all the way back to 1965 when this episode started.
Fair to say, safety standards were a little bit different.
And had time to give teammate Mike Spence a lift back to the pits.
I want to reel off some of the names that were racing in the 1965 French Grand Prix. Jim Clark, Jackie Stewart, Lorenzo Bandini, if you don't mind, Bruce McLaren, Jochen Rindt, Graham Hill,
Wolfgang Porsche, Rudolf Buchbinder, they were all there.
They were a different breed of driver, okay? They were more involved.
In the paddock, the Cooper team were working on Rindt's car. Even Roy Salvadori was getting his hands dirty.
Roy Salvadori, Tim.
Getting
big
his
fan.
hands dirty. I wonder where that hands have been.
That commentator was loving it, although I'm not sure that commentator was as thrilled to be in France.
Whilst the circuit is highly regarded, the facilities are a little basic. The paddock was far too small for the Grand Prix circus, and all set on the hillside, it all looked a little provincial.
Yes, all provincial.
This show's been described as a little provincial.
That commentator went on.
Oh, really?
He wasn't the happiest of fellows.
Whilst the Michelin men toured the circuit, even though Michelin don't produce racing cars.
He really didn't like the French Grand Prix.
No wonder the pit lanes are always so crowded. Every French race has too many gendarmes.
Oh,
what?
Don't you hate it when your gendarme get in the way, Tim?
Too many gendarmes. What is a gendarme?
It's French law enforcement.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he really didn't like France.
And the French Prime Minister, Monsieur Pompidou, together with his finance minister, were guests of honour at the circuit. They were greeted with the usual Gallic mixture of cheers and booze.
They did things different in the 1965 French Grand Prix,
Well
Timmy.
done. So while you were deep in the reserve drivers' archives, I was doing stuff like this. It's a little provincial. In my defence, it's a little provincial. Well, on that note, Lukey boy, we've got to jump out of here.
It's time
to go to the curry house.
Oh, yeah.
We certainly will. We'll be back for the French Grand Prix, the 1966 French Grand Prix.
It'll be a little bit less provincial.
But to take us out tonight...